Business Takeout presents
The Cocktale Hour with L.A. Wade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cocktale Hour. I'm your host, L.A. Wade, and we are here in the Cocktale Hour, where we have intimate and sobering conversations about the things people thirst for in life. But before we get started, I just want to throw to our sponsor, and then we'll get back into the show. Hey, I have a really special guest today, and he's sitting right over here, and his name is Moses. And I'm going to talk to Moses in a moment, but I want to shout out Business Takeout that makes this platform available so that Black entrepreneurs and Black people that are interested in building wealth, that we're able to inspire one another through the stories that we share. So without further ado, hello, my dear friend Moses. How are you?
Thank you for having me on the show.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I know, but finally you're here.
We are here. And I would like to shout out our dear friend that brought us together, Rodrigue. Thank you so much for making this happen.
Thanks, so big.
Yes, he's so wonderful. But he, as wonderful as he is, he's not as wonderful as your art.
No, he's wonderful. He's exceptional. He's incredible. He's one of my best friends. So what we can do?
For sure. When he showed me the art piece at his home, that kind of looks a little bit like just the head part of what's behind you.
Mhm.
I remember having a distinct visceral experience as I looked at it, and it just brought me closer and closer and closer to look at all of the different things that you were doing in this piece. And it was so multi-layered. And he said that his friend does this art. And I thought, your friend does this art? Wow, like what a great friend to have that he would give you this gift. But of course, he paid for it, which is what a good friend does. So all you entrepreneurs out there, don't give your friends things for free. Let them support you with their dollars so that other people can support you with their dollars as well. Right? Okay, so I like to ask Moses, who are you and how did you get to this place in your life?
So, like I said, I'm gonna present myself again. I'm Moses Salihou. I'm originally from Cameroon. It's West Africa, just beside Nigeria. I'm not part of Cameroon because like there is South part, and so I'm Sahelian. I'm more close to Nigeria, Mali, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, Chad. That's where I'm from. And
Did
my
you
story, as yeah,
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say your story. Go ahead.
yeah, my story started when I was young. Started drawing, having fun, making some little sculpture, and find out like my friend loves it, my family, the neighborhood. Oh, you're good, you're good. So I keep doing it, and then I end up being an artist. And then,
Just like that. You just ended up being an
yeah,
artist.
yeah, I think support, yeah, that like the support I get from my surrounding was like really, really pushed me to be who I am today.
And that's in Cameroon, correct?
Yeah, that's in Cameroon. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
in
I read
Cameroon.
this quote about Cameroon, and it said that it's known as one of the most art-rich areas of the African continent. And it said we're a place where chiefs, sacred kings, and religious leaders would build complex palace structures in bamboo or adobe, depending on the ecology of the region. So you were brought up like art is what makes up this place, it sounds like.
That's right. Artists everywhere. We live art every day. So it's like you're saying, like architecture, like in the village, the how people like adapt, people create beautiful things with their environment, how people dress, how people decorate their place. All those small things you grow up with, you see it around you, it inspires you automatically because you're part of the culture too. So that's something like, yeah, we
Yeah.
have in Cameroon.
So when you moved from Cameroon to Canada, I understand your art to be very globally influenced. You're what would people would call a contemporary artist. Would you agree with that title?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So when I contemporary art, it talked a lot about the global influence on contemporary art. Um, and I would think that with you, especially being a lot of your pieces reference Basquiat and James Baldwin, these types of people. Talk to me about their influence on your art.
So like first I could go with Basquiat first because I was looking in one point when I started learning about like masters and stuff. So it was always like Caucasian. So that's what I was reading, and then I discovered Basquiat through a friend. He had this CD film of Basquiat. One day he was, hey, my friend from England brought it. I think you might be interested. So I checked it. I was like, wow, it just blew my mind. It
Were
just
you
blew my mind. Hmm?
were you
Hmm?
making art like that before?
No, I used to make what I used to make back home. It was like because it was a touristic zone, the demand was more like about traditional stuff. So I was making like landscapes, like portrait of people there, like to represent like the culture how. And then moving from that to those abstract works is like I've been influenced, like I say, with like Basquiat. His work like just blew my mind. I was like, it's nothing, it's everything, it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's like the cocktail is just incredible, you know. It could be two colors, the shapes and movement, and like he draw whatever he draw. It's the simple aspect. But when you start digging it, you start learning more than what you think. It's not just like, oh, is it a kid who draw it? No. And then each each colors, each movement, each drawing means something. So
Yeah.
it was like it just transport me. And I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
someone I could follow, I could like look at.
Yeah.
So it's since that time.
He's
And James Baldwin is more about his books and everything is just incredible, you know. And
yeah.
just kind of people that inspire us.
Yeah, I saw the pieces on your website with regards to them. And when I started to dig deeper into both of them individually, Basquiat was known for saying that every line that he draws has a meaning. Is that
Mm.
true for you as well?
Of course, as an artist, that's all we could do because everything, as like creator, I can say creator, everyone has this artistic part on him. It could be like you, like the way you dress, the way you decorate your place. It's we have it, but how we express it, that's the thing. So you can just take a blank canvas, throw any colors, but it's you who made it happen.
Mm.
And then the eye will see it, interpret in their own way. So everything has a meaning. Doesn't matter what you do, what I do, what.
Yeah.
So
But he had a very specific, well, not specific. In certain pieces, he seemed to be very intentional. So, for example, you on your artwork have a kind of like a picture of him, a painting of him wearing a shirt that says "Change is now." So, out of everything, why did you select that in particular? Why that saying? What is it that? What is the change that is happening now?
I think I think I'm trying to push people to be conscious that's like we all have a responsibility to take. If we let it, we know what's happening. And we have been talking about this thing for like over like half of like century. It's been like always on the table, but there is no solution. But I think the solution is like we all, each individual, especially us as black, we have to take our responsibility. We have to say enough is enough. The change is now. it start with you, it start with me, it start with everyone. So it's that's the way, the kind of message I'm trying to push it with. That's why I work like changes now. You see it, the way you walk through the like saying it, even seeing the image,
Yeah.
the way like you turn your back, you think about it, and just like you are the change. It's not someone else. Be the change. That is the kind of message I'm trying to push it there.
Okay. Um,
Mhm.
Baldwin is known for saying the precise role of the artist then is to illuminate that darkness, blaze roads through the vast forests so that we will not, in all our doing, lose sight of its purpose, which is, after all, to make the world a more human dwelling place. How much of this quote has impacted your art itself?
Oh, a lot. Baldwin is just like I can get enough. I can get enough. It's like it's just incredible. That's why, and even like since I'm starting, I discovered Baldwin. I always try to push people because I think sometimes when I pen someone that I really like or like really inspire me, it's not just for myself. To
Right.
put people, because some people don't. Oh, who is that? I says James Baldwin. Who is James Baldwin? So I try to like, it's the same thing with Basquiat. So through those, because they inspire me, I know they inspire million of people, and they're still gonna inspire like million of people. So my when I pen them, it's not my purpose is like to reveal them to other people who don't know about them. Especially like in my country, some people are, who is that? So I was like, yeah, you have internet, you have connection. It's James Baldwin. It's like, whoa, which James Baldwin? So then they start becoming curious. They start searching. Oh, can I get the book? Yeah, just order on Amazon. So they end up like, wow, I never knew about. So like it's the same thing with Basquiat. People like some people walk, it's like, oh, who is that? It was like, oh, that's that yeah, this is Jean-Michel Basquiat. Who is Basquiat? No, he. So it's allow me. That's why sometimes I choose who I paint, and I paint always in my abstract way because that's my style. But at the end, you always have like it's the person I want to represent that inspire me. I want it to be to inspire some other people too. That's why I kind of goal when I paint. Sometime it's not just for me because that is the goal. You paint for other, not for yourself. So
Right.
that's the thing.
So
Mhm.
a lot of the paintings, you don't actually see a person's face. You kind of remove the features of the individual and you add, different abstract elements to create the face. Um, and I just wonder, of course I was so intrigued by it that I was looking up some things and I was reading about the identity aspect of this faceless kind of painting, or it can also be reflectant of an erasure of something or a silencing of certain groups. And I'm just wondering if you could espouse upon what is it about not having a face in your painting that is true to your art and what you're feeling about it.
So not having a face because the face is something like it's a personal research I have been doing because when I observe someone, when you even like you look at something 5 minutes, it becomes disturbed. It change. It's not what you because what you see in 30 seconds is not what you're gonna see in 2 minutes. So I was digging that part. I was looking more for emotional aspect, which kind of emotion you're gonna get without seeing the face, and
Mm.
it's intriguing too because you're gonna start asking questions, and you're gonna start digging because there is no face, but at the same time there is a face, and you can draw it, and you can see whatever you want to see. I just give you the shape, I give you the color, I give you the texture. So then the way you want to draw it, the way you want to see it, that's up to you. So it's more about emotion. It's about intriguing. It's not just I see it's beautiful, I catch it. That's it. No, I want to push, push it further. So
Yeah.
that is kind of something.
So you're communicating an idea, not necessarily having a conversation, or if there is a conversation being had, what are you saying and what are we responding to?
I think with each artwork, there's always a conversation that is like because as an artist, like I'm saying, I always tell people we create, And then what happened? And sometime I could go with an idea. I want to pen maybe something about freedom, for example. My interpretation about freedom. That's my own experience. So I could put like a dove or like a bird like flying, maybe a portrait beside. That's for me. It means it's personal. Then when the painting is in front of someone, some like a viewer starts seeing something. Some of them work with, oh, I love the texture and the color. That the first thing attract me. Oh, there's a bird in the side. Oh, what does mean? Then they ask me the question, and then I just like, I don't answer usually. I say, what do you see? How do you feel? So because it's always a conversation, it's a dialogue. What I think is not what you see. And I don't want to convince you, like, say, what I'm seeing or how I feel about thing is the same thing you feel. No, you have this freedom too. So freedom starts with you and me and everything. So it's always a conversation.
I
It's
like that.
always a conversation. Yeah, it's always. There is no boundary. There is no boundary. That
Yeah.
is the thing. That's what I'm always trying to offer to people. I've said, I wake up, I paint a portrait. When I walk to my studio, sometimes I don't know even what I'm gonna do today.
Really?
Sometimes I sit there, yeah. Sometimes, like today, I got here and I was like, hmm, I have two blank canvas. I'm starting like checking some old stuff, and then I end up like, oh, let's start. I just started like half an hour before we started the show. I started painting something in the back, and then probably after the show, I'm gonna continue for an hour or two, and tomorrow I will see. I'm gonna unveil it, maybe see how it looks like. It's like it just I'm a spontaneous painter. I
Wow.
don't plan things,
You don't
so
plan.
that's kind of cool. Yeah,
And
so
you don't
I
look.
always had like yeah, I always had failure when I plan it. So like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. It end up it's not what I'm expecting.
Yeah, and it
So
can be like an imprisonment because you said you were going to do something and then you feel a way about not doing what you said versus giving yourself
mm,
the freedom to go with the flow. I I
that's right.
understand.
That's
I
right.
understand that. Okay, so when it comes to who you are as a person, was there anything before art when it comes to you? Was there anything that you did that wasn't art before there was art?
Hmm, hmm. Huh, that's a tough question. But I can like I've been always a center, to be honest. It's been always a center because it was like it allowed me, it opened me so many doors. It's it's kind of like my self therapy too.
Mm,
Because sometimes it's like if I'm in certain level, I just need to be in my studio or have like a pencil or something, a paper or draw. But it's like it's helped me personally. It's something that's been a center. Then around like I had like sport. Yeah, I used to play soccer, do stuff,
right.
traveling a bit, reading. So that's kind of thing. Music too. I love listening to music. That's one of my things. I
And
cannot get the music is part of my so that's kind of thing I meeting new people, you
yeah.
know. So
So
that's kind of thing.
if we were going to peek into your studio one night while you were creating, what would we hear? What would we see? What is the energy and the vibe like in there?
I think you guys gonna bring the energy. That's how it works usually. It's you guys. It's that's like the way we're talking. It's I think it's something natural. For example, the way you connect with people, the way I connect with people, and sometimes you walk somewhere and it's just like it's what you're giving to people, and it's feel you feel it, and like you, and that's a good question because I have some people that like show up in the studio, they can stay for an hour or two, but just we have like drink, we talk about art, but for sure, I am sure with you guys, I'm gonna be like, yo, chill, painting. You guys are gonna have a glass of wine. We're gonna talk. So I can create something in front, so we can talk about it, and you can check whatever I have on the floor. It's my studio is a mess.
Oh
I
wow.
love chaos because if it's well organized, that's not me. But it's a chaos. But I know where everything goes.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad
Yeah.
you have a studio because if you lived with someone, you would drive them crazy if you kept your studio stuff in your house.
I know. I did it because I always had like back home. My studio was at my place, so it was like it's a big house that are
Yeah.
like two, three bedrooms. I have a space, like a huge space that I play patio. It's sort of like my studio was everywhere because I was living by myself. So
Yes.
some friends coming like for a weekend. I have like some apprentice in my studio. So it was like it's like an art center. That's my dream house. You walk, you are yeah. So everything is just like chaos, but well organized in my own way. So
Wow.
yeah, the most important is the way the collector or the so who gonna have it on their wall. That's the good like that's them. But me, it's like a factory.
That's so cool. Another really
Yeah.
cool thing that you've exposed me to was the art battle, the world of the art battle. I had no idea. I've lived this long on this earth. I had never
Hmm.
seen anything like that before. Like,
Yeah.
to explain it to people, you walk into a place and there are artists on a raised platform like a stage, and they have their easels and their painting or drawing equipment, and you have a time that you have to be able to create a work of art within this time frame, and everybody's just going at their own easel, trying to battle against themselves but also battle against one another. How many of those things have
Yeah.
you done, and how nerve-wracking is that to try to beat the clock to create something? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think with like live painting, the thing is the level of confidence, especially when it's your first time. You have this spread. You have like 100 people, 200 people around looking. You create the process, and
Yeah,
you only have like 20 minutes.
right.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Sometimes it's short, but as an artist, if you have used to do your thing, I think it's okay. You can create something. Even like I remember the first time I participated. Oh, I heard about our battle, and then I was like, "Let me go." So I went. I participated. It wasn't not bad. I didn't win that year. I didn't win, but it was good. It was a good experience. So next time I went back, I was like, I feel it already. I feel I know how it could work. So as soon I walk, I know how to take a crowd, how to have fun. Because sometimes it's the level, the confidence people seeing too. So I
Yeah.
was like, it's just for fun. That's what I put in my mind. It's always when you do something in front of people, make abstraction of people there, just extract their positive vibe and just stick with that and create. So the first year, the second one, I won, and then I move, end up at the national, represented Toronto at the national. All the champion that you know the country was there. So
Wow.
then I won, and it was like then since yeah. So it's regional. I won it several times. It was good. Then in one point I was like, okay, it's time to move on. If it's like for private event, I can go there, create a piece of work for like half an hour. Then they can auction it or do something for a good cause. I'm down. That was my. And now, right now, I'm thinking about like, especially for our community, we do have good black artists here, but we don't have opportunities. Everyone's doing their thing in their own. Why
Yes.
not having the same vibe of thing like that? Having like one evening, maybe every 2 months, we can have. Even I'm thinking in the at the Bukang or something like that, some place. We can talk to them. Have like we can have 2 3 hours. We create something live music in the side, sharing like creating something every 6 weeks, like
Oh
twice
my
every
God,
three
that
months.
would be amazing. And then we can bring people from other places to do it too.
Exactly. That is the thing because we
I'm with
need
you.
to create this kind of thing. Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes,
that what missing. Because
yes,
even now you wanna check, okay, oh, what happened in this weekend? You wanna support. You wanna at least by supporting, it's just being there. It means a lot for artists.
yeah.
It's not like that's what I'm trying to explain to our community. It's not like you have to buy. No, being there it means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
means a lot. So
You have me
as an
thinking.
artist, we need to create it too. As an artist, we need to create this kind of opportunity to bring people to see what we have to offer. If you have nothing to offer, that's a problem. But if you have something to offer, some people willing to.
Yes. How
be
did
part
you
of
how did
that.
you make your big break in Toronto? Because like you said, there's a lot of artists here, but they may not know how to make the opportunities available to themselves. And you came from a different country and you've been able to do so well. What was the path that you took towards getting the notoriety that you have?
I think what helped me, I didn't just jump when I got here. I think the first 2 3 years was just a sacrifice because when you get somewhere, just see what's happening around. Just jump and like because you know you're coming from somewhere, you have something special to offer. I took one step back. I was like, oh, let me just check what's happening in the city. So I was participating. So I was just going to some shows to see. And when you know your product, you know what you are capable of. You know your level. So I was going to some show. I was like, no, this is not mine. This is not mine. This is not mine. And then I think the first show I got it was 2016. That was a good show. And I was like, I walked to that gallery. I see they have like call for artists. So I'm gonna apply for that. And then I applied,
Mm-hmm.
and I had like only 5 6 days to create like few pieces. And I took like 3 days. I create 3 pieces.
Wow.
And I sent the picture to the curator. He was like, shit, I wanna have those pieces. And he said I have the right spots. And yeah, I brought the pieces. The first day, the first opening night, the pieces were like as soon you walk to the gallery, it was sold. Like the first 3 pieces were sold. He just like the time I got there, he called me. He said, "Wow, congrats! The 3 pieces was sold already before he got there." I was like, "Wow!" So I got there, starting connecting with like established artists here. They were, wow, where are you? Where are you coming from? So it's like people getting started. Like, yeah, that's how I started finding my way. There's some show that I know I could fit, some show I can't. So I could like, I build my own. Still a lot of work to do, but there is some positive things. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there's like this also, we like to in Toronto like to bring in aspects of other cultures to say that that's art. And it took us a while in the music industry to establish what is a Canadian or a Toronto sound. And so Toronto artists might be fighting the same thing where you come from Cameroon, they're like, oh, he's a Cameroonian artist. So therefore, it's already accepted in a sense because it's, not that it's not good, it's fantastic, but because you have that added element of not being from here, it's seen as art. Whereas I don't know if they feel the same way about people from here. I don't know. I'm just guessing because it was like that in the music industry also.
Mm.
And it's
Okay,
interesting.
that's something. That's an interesting point.
Yeah,
But I
I think
think mostly artists, mostly black artists that I met, they're amazing. But it's I think the level of confidence too, because sometimes don't wait. You have to create your own opportunity. Because when you wait, that's the hard part. But you could create your own opportunity. We live in Toronto. I know it's tough. It's not easy. But as an artist, if you like, that way I tell them sometimes, ask for advice. I'm here. There's some well-established artists. I know if you go, they're gonna help you. They're
yeah.
gonna advise you. That's all you needed. If because you have something to offer, it's just the level of confidence, pushing ourselves to create our own opportunities. That is the step I think we need to take.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're born here or like you came, like you say, when you came from somewhere, you know you have nothing to lose. That's the first thing. You're gonna just jump. Doesn't matter. It worked out good. It doesn't. You always try. At least you try. That is the thing. You don't have fear. You're gonna try.
Yes.
But I think that is the problem I say sometimes with some artists, like black artists here. That I think they feel like, we need to find like we can create our own niche. We don't need, you know, they create it for us. We can do it. So
Yeah,
that is the thing.
absolutely. In the same way that you were able to interpret Basquiat and Baldwin, there's so many places around the world that they can draw inspiration from, to also do those things right from here. I don't know. I think we're kind of complacent, some of the people here, a little bit. But hopefully, by giving opportunity and creating these challenges, like I would love to see an art battle amongst black artists to see what they might create. That pressure, I don't think they know
Yeah,
how to build out of the pressure. They're too comfortable
I
in it.
think I think that's yeah because I still have like yeah I'm still in touch with our battle Canada. So even last week they reached me. They were like, "Oh, do you know few like black artists that would like to participate at that our battle?" I
Yeah,
was like, "Yeah, I know few that." So I reached some of them. They were like, "Oh, you guys, if you wanna go, just go experience it. They
yeah,
think you're gonna meet new people. You could share what you have to offer. That's something you could do." But some of them, oh, okay, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. And like you're saying, if we could do something like just for us, that would be really great. To be honest, I've been thinking about it because
yeah,
it's gonna be even it's not our battle. We can do like event that can happen like I'd say every 6 weeks or every month, once a month somewhere that's a specific place. There's then maybe gonna have like, live music, a small show going around, few pieces showcasing. Then the pieces they created like live could be auctioned. So kind of thing like that. So we can create a community, artistic community. Doesn't matter what you do or what you have to offer.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's interesting. It's funny that most artists I know that at least that stimulate my eye here in Toronto is our graffiti artists. And I was reading about how much graffiti has a lot of rules actually, and that's something that I know Basquiat was like, I it has too many rules, so I'm not really that's not his thing, so to speak. And I hear you talking about the free flow and the freedom of painting and the interpretation of things. So graffiti is very different than artwork in that way, especially. But I think we could try to get something going at the Art Gallery of Ontario, and
yeah, that's a great idea.
maybe we launch it during Black History Month,
Per
and
month, exactly.
yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll connect because I'm all about this.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
art.
no problem at all. That's all we need to like to do. Have a project and then submit it and find a space and create it. They were doing it. If
People
you
I know.
need artists, I have bunch of lists of artists that gonna be interested to be in, and they're well established too. So,
Yeah. Well, I earlier this year I interviewed a young artist from Ghana, and he,
mm,
oh my gosh, he also does this kind of faceless thing, but his focus was more on the Black woman form. He said that he was surrounded by Black women, and he was very into that, and that he wanted to juxtapose the Black woman against the colonial ideas of beauty. And so he does this purposely with a lot of light. He's a photographer, I think, as well.
mm.
He was just, and that's the kind of thing I would love to see more of here. To see those components mixed together and inspire each other. And that's why people understand that this show, the Cocktail Hour, is specifically for art, culture, sports, and entertainment, because these are the things that highly inspire me and influence my life. And we want to share with other entrepreneurs about how do you do it. If you're just an artist, my next question was, talk to me about working commission. Is it true what they say, the starving artist? Are you starving, Moses? Was there ever a
Yeah,
time?
we're still until maybe I started having like a big name out. But the thing is, I can complain because I cannot complain because at least I have an opportunity to create, to buy my material, to like to be, that's all I can say.
Yeah,
I
how
can't
do you know
complain.
how to, can you help some of the young entrepreneurial artists out there and how to formulate to set up a commission base? Hi, Mike Truth. Um, yeah, like how do you work off of commission as an artist, and how do you not starve while you're doing it? I don't want you to be a starving artist out there.
Well, I think we're all like, if personally I can say I cannot complain, but we're still on the same. So the thing is, the only advice I can say, commission is like something really helpful, but it depends. It's challenging too.
Okay.
Some people willing to okay, yeah, we need something, yeah, I need to commission with this, but they have their own idea of what they wanted. The
Yeah.
only every time I tell like young artists, if you want to take a commission, be specific, be clear about all the detail.
Mm.
Tell
And
the person,
yes, tell them.
I'm gonna do it in my style. Do you love my style? Okay, that's the first thing question. Because some people they could see something somewhere by another artist, they commission you because they want you to do the same style. It doesn't work like that. If you,
Oh,
I know if you're young, you started, you need money for sure. You see, oh, I'm gonna get like two, three, 4,000 in this commission. Why not? It's gonna take me 2, 3 days to create it. Why not? But
yes.
it's a trap. You end up like having headache like you never had before because the expectation is more than what you think. That way, always I talk about freedom. Say like, you know my style. That's my style. I could paint in my style. Be clear about it. Second step is like, okay, time range. Okay, it's gonna take me probably. If you know it's gonna take you 2 weeks, it could happen in 2 weeks. You are not inspired. You can't. That is the thing with because you have a mental pressure already. You have to create. But if you create for your own, you walk in the studio, you feel it, you paint. You don't feel it, you go home.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
if you have like, time frame, oh, I have to deliver this commission in 1 month, and in 1 month you're not inspired, it
yeah,
does become something else. So it's challenging. But
yeah.
make sure to be clear in every single details. So
Like
that's the thing.
like the
If not, it's a
details,
good thing.
the amount of time. No, we didn't freeze. Like,
Exactly.
yeah. How much time do you
Mhm.
need us to make this piece? How big do you want it? Do you want to consider your
Exactly.
art supplies and how much it takes to make the actual painting itself? The canvas.
That's right.
I'm just trying to help all the artists out there. I don't even paint.
Exactly. No, but you know how it works. It's like the same thing you're saying. It's all the details. That's the thing. And then the problem in the end, the headaches sometimes happen. You finish the work and the client was like, could you retouch this? I don't like this. I don't. Finally, that's what I'm saying. Doing commission sometimes it gives you 10 times more work than doing like your regular work.
Right.
Me, sometimes it happens. Sometimes I have to cancel the commission. I was like, okay, you give me 40, 50% deposit. I'm giving your money back. I don't have time to waste like 2 months to do a work that I could create something
Yeah.
that's that's why always I'm telling you about freedom. When you create, you need a freedom. You go, you see, you have a blank canvas, you want to just throw a black pen and over it, and you say it's done, it's done. You have a freedom.
You have the
But
freedom.
yeah, if you have this little voice or you have to do this, that's it's that where the problem started.
Uh-huh.
It's challenging. I have some areas that's like how I can do with this customer versus client. I was like, give him his money back. You cannot finish this work because you reach that point. Because what he's drawing in his mind is not what you're creating for him. That
Uh-huh.
way, I always like freedom. Tell them that is my style. I can do something in my style, and then be specific in every single detail, so that from there you can things could be more easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if I'm gonna commission you to to paint something for me, I'm saying I want it to be a woman and I want her to be on fire and then just go,
Mhm.
right?
So that's kind of thing like that is more simple sometimes usually. I think the challenge sometimes I found is more with portraits. That way I always have people like, oh, there's some good portrait artists that I know that is their job. They're good portrait artists. They can capture but there's always something that like someone gonna not gonna like. It's like picture. When you take picture, you can take 1,000 picture. You don't like any of them, but it's you. It's not a picture. It's a reflective you. That's something simple to answer. Some
Yeah,
people go like, yeah, to do photo shoot. They're not gonna take one picture. The photographer gonna take 1,000 to choose one or five in
yeah.
1,000 picture. How can you ask me to create something right away? It's become 100% you.
Oh, so true.
That's
Good.
yeah, it's challenging with portrait. Sometimes it's complicated. There was like in one point I always like make sure you're ready to have headaches sometimes. It's a whole experience. It's a, that's why sometimes big commission is the best because like you work with an institution, you work with people like people who really know and value what you're doing, whatever you do. So
Yes.
that changed the game. But people they're just curious because they hear about you, they want something. That's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah.
to suck. Yeah, because
Wow.
you can ask me something. As we know each other, it's become more easier for me because I know I can, and you can trust me easily, and it become that is like because we have something close. But if someone that I don't know,
Yes.
he
Just
can tell me anything he wanted. There is no like, there is no. It's challenging.
not
Yeah,
gonna
it's
work.
challenging. Yeah, it's
Okay.
challenging. Yeah, it's challenging.
Do you
It's
know what you
challenging.
sold your first painting for? Do you remember?
Uh, to be honest, it's no more than $5,
Wow.
$5 maybe. Yeah,
Do you
because
know?
back home. So
Yes.
I think my first collector, I can tell you, the first art collector I had was this lady from. She was a missionary. She was working like for this organization there, but she was a collect. So she was collecting without. So I knew she was drawing. She was nice, and I have a friend was like, "Oh, that lady, she could buy your stuff." And I was just like, okay. And I was young, so I was just drawing, doing some small stuff. And he was my first art dealer too. He was like, no, we can make money. And for me at that time, like, okay, someone gonna pay like $10, $5 for this.
$10.
That's enough.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I swear I sell. I think my first two painting was sold for like maybe $15 both of them. Yeah,
Oh my
and they're
God.
small pieces and just random. For me, seeing someone liking what I'm doing was enough. Because when you start something,
How did it change? When did it change to, okay, this is crazy. I
so,
can't do this anymore?
so it started with that lady. So she started buying because that was the price, people selling like $5, $7, and blah
Oh
blah
my
blah like that.
gosh.
What happened? She starting then, maybe 6 months later, starting like buying them for like $15, $20. What happened with her? She was collecting my work. She was an artist too. She was those like watercolors and beautiful stuff. I didn't know.
Yes.
So from I think from 2003 to 5, she was collecting. And
Okay.
then I started that. Then I was good. Then I was like, it was a touristic zone of Cameroon, so there was like tons of tourists was coming. So I was creating. So I have like one, two art dealer friends like they were selling them like $10, $15, $20. And then the lady started buying for like 20, 25, $50, $100. The same lady.
Yes.
And I remember one day in 2006, she was like, "Oh, you have to start." She sent my friend, she told my friend to tell me to come at her place. So I stopped by. So we're sitting on the patio. Then she was like, "Yeah, would you want to walk to the living room?" So I walked. She has a wall with
Of
my
all your
painting she was
paintings.
buying. Yeah. She was like, I love what you're doing, and I try to encourage you. I know keep doing your thing, and I see if you keep doing your thing, you're gonna go far with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just to encourage you. But next time your money, you have to upgrade your money too. So it's like yeah, increase. So that's how I started. Then it goes from. So so
Yes.
now it goes like yeah.
But Basquiat got $110 million at an auction for
You
some
see,
19.
that's the reality.
Like
Even
what?
when, even when I moved here, my painting I was selling like some. I think the most expensive the first 2 years was like 500, 400. So for me at that time, coming from Cameroon, I was like, it's okay, it's normal. So it's. But
Wow.
then the market changed. The same thing I was selling like 8, 9 years ago, like 500. At least it's now it's like 5,000.
Right. Right.
So
And
it
that's
will go like from 5,000 to 6 to 7. So that's my range price now with some large pieces. So it
wow.
go from like 5 to maybe 12,000. It could go. Then you have pieces that like could go for like yeah. I still have like making some small pieces because
Yeah.
if not everyone could afford like. And like I said, there's price that you have to accommodate with friendship. That is not about just money in one point.
Right.
Like so, you start understanding the market, but there's always something to learn, to learn, to learn, to learn.
It's
It's a
true.
lot.
We just
Yeah,
finished
it's a
having
lot.
Nuit Blanche here. the
Hmm.
contemporary art exhibition and celebration. Have you ever put
Yeah,
anything?
last Saturday.
Yeah, do you ever?
Not yet, but next year I'm gonna have a project. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I
next year my goal is like, yeah, to rent a gallery space and to have like a good solid group show.
A group show.
Yeah, so maybe 2, 3 artists we can have a project.
Yeah, I
So
think
yeah.
it would be really cool to do the February event as a competition to see who was going to amalgamate into this transformer thing that we do at Nuit Blanche.
Yeah, we could definitely, like I said, yeah, let's talk soon and we can talk about it. I can like,
Yes,
we
and
can meet friends of ours. We can like, yeah. Even
absolutely.
next month, there is a friend. He just launched a website and he trying to promote. He's a photographer, videographer too. So
Mhm.
he's curating a show next month. So I'm
Nice.
gonna send you the link. I'm gonna share it.
Yes,
He's
please.
doing, he's trying to work with few black artists that you can meet, and they're great. They're
That would
all
be
great.
great. There's one of the viewers watching right now. His name is Mike Truth, and he does a radio show, and I can't remember the name, but it's Flight. Hey, Mike, if you can put in the chat if you're
Mhm.
still there. He does this podcast called
Mhm.
Flight something, and whatever it is, it's taking the area code of somewhere in Africa, and he's talking about the area code here in Toronto and how we the journey of our cultures and how we can come together to create something and an understanding of one another's experiences to come together to make something amazing. So maybe that's a good way to think about the art as well. Or maybe it's something about all the different Flight 654. And
Mhm.
if you
Like
break it down, you can. I'll read it out loud, Mike, in your chat. But I know it had something to do with the amount of countries, or something to do with Africa, and linking it to the diaspora. And I really hope that
What's again? What's again?
Flight
Fly when?
654, yeah, Flight
Fly
654,
64
654,
654. Okay.
Flight 654, and it's a
Okay,
cool
six five
concept.
four.
And I really like the idea of bridging those gaps between us from the continent to the diaspora. It's so important so that we can start to heal. There's a
No,
lot.
that's right. Exactly.
Yeah, because
No, that's right.
there's some sadness and for sure some trauma there. Is
No,
would
I
you
get
say
it.
art is your obsession? And with any obsession, it can be like it can get into an area of darkness where you can't live or breathe without it.
Because it's become part of you. You can dissociate yourself without it. You cannot see yourself without it.
Mhm.
So it's like I say, it's like if you take me out, it's like I'm nothing.
Oh, don't say
I'm
that.
no one. I'm not. I'm no one. To be honest, it's everything I have. Like right now,
Yeah.
I breathe. I think. That is something. It's a part of me.
Oh my gosh, there was another quote about that. I didn't write it down, but
Mhm.
it struck me when I read it. It was implying that it wasn't even one of these artists. It was I can't remember who.
Yeah.
Picasso. Picasso talked about being an artist is like his only expression of his pain and the expression of his beingness. So if he wasn't able to do that, then he would cease to exist. This essentially is what he was saying. And I just thought, yeah, that's like an obsession. And I wondered
Yep.
if you couldn't do your obsession. Okay, so Mike is saying connecting the 6 boroughs of the GTA to the 54 countries of Africa. We amplify African
Oh,
voices and diasporian creatives. Oh, I didn't even know that was a
wow,
word.
that's amazing.
But that would be
Yeah.
using that concept. It would be cool to make an installation with that idea at Nuit Blanche next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Can do
so
a
let's.
nice installation. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I would
like
like
it.
to see that. I would like to see that. So I'll connect you guys after. I've hardly played these games with you, but I want to say a couple of words to hear what comes up for you when I say these words. So pattern.
Mhm. I
What
can
comes?
say like if I think about pattern, it's like my own story.
Ooh, do tell.
Mhm.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, because when you think about like patterns, it's like when I say my own story, it could be someone else's story, but pattern for me, that's what I think about. It's
Yeah,
you're born somewhere, you grow up somewhere, and all your life were like influenced by cultural, by everything, by your surrounding, like I'd say. And then for like each step you're doing, everything, each experience you're drawing, it's just like, and then it's become your own story. So it's like,
yes.
that's what I think about like
Ooh,
pattern.
interesting. What about if I say texture and weaving?
Mhm.
These are things that come to my
Yeah.
mind when I look at your paintings. That's where I'm getting these words from.
So the texture, first of all, yeah. So like that's an interesting point. I think you got what I'm doing in my work because there's always texture. That's what I'm looking for
Yes.
when I paint. It take like sometimes 3 4 months to dry properly, but when it's done, it's done. But when you look at it, it's how we are composed.
Yeah.
We are not just something like flat. We are composed like by texture, by that's how I see it. That's what I want to reflect when I paint or when I create work usually. I always need to find texture there because that's texture could I don't know. I'm so attracted by texture, you know. Even with my way the bread I'm doing, the series of bread works I'm doing is like they're abstract work, but they're all bread. But it's the texture, the movements between how they move, how and then even like yeah, see your hair like now. It's there. It's not just okay the hair, but even the texture, the movement, the way all those things, the lighting and all those small element, it
Yeah.
make what it make it special. It make it special.
I
It make
feel
it
special.
special. That's all. Yeah.
Yes, because we all while we all have this similar patterns, our textures is what differentiates us.
That's
And we can
right.
have multiple textures to who we are, and that's what I see in your paintings, because it's not just one individual that I'm looking at in the painting behind you. I'm looking at the textures of our society, the patterns of our society, and how they all intermingle and weave together. That's what I get when I look at it. So it makes me come closer towards it. I want to like touch it because it looks three-dimensional in some parts and flat in other parts, and color, and almost like that can look like an aerial view of what it looks like to see maybe an area in Africa. That's in my mind. I'm making this up. It's not what you're doing, but it's what I'm seeing, because I think it's Chiamanda that talks about the story within the story,
Mhm.
the danger of a singular story, and your art just obliterates that. It doesn't allow for that to be true, that there is no single story, that we're all interconnected and built upon one another, and those textures are beautiful. But we don't look at the world through those lenses. We're so busy looking at the flat and just the one-dimensional ways of our fear, that if we look
Mhm.
anywhere else it might scare us. That's I love art because it just brings out so much inside of me. And artists have, I don't know, they're so gifted to be these communicators of culture and of consciousness, subconsciousness. It's so great. So thank you for being an artist.
Oh, thank you to you guys to support us. It's
Absolutely.
it's not just us, it's you two guys. It's like, yeah, the way given let me like this opportunity to talk about what about my art, but about me. It means a lot. That's all we need. It's just like, and
Yeah.
having this opportunity to share is like just incredible.
I'm so glad.
It's
Okay, I have two
it means
sentences
a
for you
lot.
to finish. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Finish the sentence. Painting
Okay.
is.
Everything.
Okay.
Mhm.
The second question, or finish the second sentence. When people view my art.
They feel transported.
Ooh, that's deep. That's really
Mhm.
deep. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. I'm so
Thank
bad
you
at running
too.
out of so much time, and I wanted to talk about how is art flexible? Like, how can art be flexible? But I think we also kind of just explained it. Art is,
Yeah.
and why you choose so many oil paintings? Because I heard oil painting, I guess oil painting allows you to go and come back with different, it allows for the layers because you have to wait for it to dry, right?
It depends. So like I usually work wet on wet, so I don't care. It depends. Some of them I could come back. Some of them when I'm done, I'm done. So it's like it's just my favorite medium. To be honest, it's not about it with oil because it's about the texture too. It gives me the texture I'm looking for. It is
Yeah,
a high quality too. It's like the product is always high quality.
right.
So
Okay.
mhm.
I was curious about that.
Yeah.
Moses, what do you thirst for?
Hmm?
What do you,
The question again?
what do you thirst for in life?
Hmm. Huh. That's a nice question. It's interesting. I think freedom.
Hmm.
I think freedom.
Which means you don't feel free.
Freedom in different no, freedom in different way. That's just like we I'm free for sure, but I need more than the way that I want to create more than what I have like tons of things here, but sometimes I feel trapped like I don't have I think no. Freedom is one thing, but I think it's more time.
Oh, you thirst for
Have
time.
more time to create. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's accurate for a lot of us. I feel that. I hope you will spend some time with me on October 12th at Bucom for my
Oh
birthday.
yeah, definitely. I mark it on my calendar already.
Great. We
I
can
I
meet.
will be there. Yeah, I
Perfect.
will be. Yeah, I will be there. Yeah, I will be there. Bring in some friends and yeah, because I
Oh,
have friends that want to discover the restaurant too. So and it's
yeah,
like 2 minutes from my studio. I tell you.
I know. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing you and everybody else is going to come out to celebrate my birthday on October 12th.
Oh, we will. We will definitely. Yeah. I wrote it down already, so I mark it already in my calendar.
Yes. So thank you so much for being in the cocktail hour with us today. I think you
Oh,
shared a lot of inspiration, a lot of insight, a lot of ways of looking at art as a business. That's important. That's really important. So thank you. There's layers even in the business world as well as in the creation process. So thank you for illuminating that. I'm your host, LA Wade. Welcome to the Cocktail Hour. Business Takeout is a platform that inspires Black wealth and Black entrepreneurship in the arts, culture, sports, and entertainment industries. And I think we've done a good job of that today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to advertise with us, feel free to direct message us and we'll be happy to respond. And I guess we'll see you next week. Die empty, Moses, because I want you to get more time.
thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We'll see you
Okay.
next.
Bye bye.
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 If you enjoy our programming and want to help support Black entrepreneurship, please donate today. www.businesstakeout.com/donate.